Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the introduction briefly for me. Thank you. I'm so grateful to have you all here, our local members, and also retreat the participants here. Today is so peaceful and beautiful, right? It's like your Buddha nature. So I'm so comfortably can deliver what I'd like to talk about today. If each one of us had something, most precious thing, what would it be? What comes up with your mind? What's the most precious thing in your life? What is that? Huh? Children, okay. Empathy, beauty, and love, family, friends. Some people like, what do you say? Our lives. That's the answer. I like to talk. Yeah, some people, but I have some nice job, nice house, nice car, or reputation. And sometimes some people like practice and spirituality. For me, like you, life. Without life, there is nothing to be meaningful. Life is about maintaining that living existence. I think having a better life is the most fundamental issue and task. How often do you ponder about life? How satisfied are you with your life? Do you feel you need something more? Or are you content with this current moment? Leo Tolstoy once said, "The true meaning of life is not simply to exist, but to find something to live for." Do you know what you are living for? Yes? In fact, many people spend their lives without a clear understanding of the purpose of their existence. It's understandable because our lives are filled with demands, a lot of demands and requirements that we must carry out. Then some may mistakenly believe that happiness and peace will come once they are retired. However, that time comes, new concepts will arise, right? Our friends, experience. The more time will be given to us, but the more concerns or worries might arise. If we do not know what our original nature is or who we truly are. So I think I spent my life, not too long, but spent my life as just described before I became a One Buddhist minister. I was born into a comfortable family and lived a comfortable life without much trouble. I was an optimistic and simple-minded person, so I hadn't really pondered much about my life. In my 20s, I got a job, I went to work, worked late into the night, drank with colleagues, and then the day ended. A year passed by like that, one more year. I didn't know where my life was headed. And then I ruined my health and ended up facing a life-threatening crisis. Fortunately, I overcame the death. Then through that experience, I deeply reflected on my life for the first time. I thought about how I could live a meaningful and true life with this second life. Then I realized that when I was young, I minded how others viewed me and sometimes tried to become someone else to satisfy others' expectations. But I recognize that it is important to live a life knowing who I am and doing things truly for myself. I think many spiritual practitioners had the same question and set the goal of their practice on realizing who they truly are. To figure that out, they often lived their lives far away from reality, to only concentrate on themselves. However, our founding master of Won Buddhism, Master Sotaesan, refrained from this kind of practice, which is separated from our daily life. Instead, he revealed a living Dharma, which allows people to practice their mind in their daily life, regardless of time and space. So one of our Won Buddhism minister, the senior minister who passed away, Venerable Seungsan-nim, Jae-seung-yang, he devoted his whole life for farming and teaching just Ilwon-sang. At the Mandok Retreat Center in Korea. In his 70 years of life, he worked as a farmer during the day and spent his nights in a small, narrow room and tirelessly shaping wood until his hands become calloused and rough. It's like a skin of a tree. So work very hard. Despite the hard labor, he never stopped his practice. So after that, people found that his scriptures were so worn from constant use that the white paper had turned yellow, and there is some tapes. Tapes held together the torn pages, showing the extent of his dedication. It indicates his life was his practice, and his practice was his life. He used to say, whether weeding, like you're in the morning weeding the fields, or working in the rice paddies, you will be busy to practice maintaining one-pointedness mind, which is one pure and clear mind. Even if you lie idle in your room without work, keeping the one-pointedness mind keeps you constantly busy. This was because he never stopped practice in his daily life. Venerable Seungsan-nim often raised his index finger to draw a large circle to the retreat people, because he was working at the retreat center. So when people come to the retreat center, he just draw every time, ask them, what is this? What is this? He repeatedly posed this question to those seeking the truth. Throughout his life, he illuminated the path of practice for practitioners with giving a koan about Ilwon-sang. I think he showed us what is the key in our life. What is that? Ilwon-sang. Everything is here. So this Ilwon-sang stands for our original mind, true nature or Buddha nature. The matter is how can we use it in our daily life? Our mind is originally pure, calm, and free from discrimination and attachment. However, see, when we face sensory conditions, we are easily separated from our original nature and cling to emotions like joy, anger, sorrow, or pleasure. In one Buddhism, to recover our original true nature and attain freedom in our daily lives, we practice meditation in every action, not only on the cushion. In every action we take, such as walking, sitting, moving, breathing, and what else? Even if eating or even sleeping. This way, we can practice it anytime and anywhere. This is called the practice of timeless meditation and placeless meditation. The founding master Sotaesan said, when using our mind and body, use them rightly. And when the mind and body are not in use, cultivate one-pointedness mind. So we need to find the mind and understand what it is. Where is your mind? Where is it? Yeah? Here? Listening. Consciousness. So our mind has no form, smell, color, no taste. So it is very difficult to even judge it is exist or not. We need to focus inwardly towards ourselves and stay calm to meet with our mind. However, in this era of a highly developed material civilization, so many things distracted our minds, such as money, fame, electronic devices, internet, and so on. There are too much information flooded. So as a scientific civilization has developed, we now have amazing benefits. However, on the other hand, our spirit, which should manage material things, has become weaker and weaker. Even if we know good ways of practice to be mindful, we are likely to be careless in our mind practice while we chase our desire or things we want to do or have. In this kind of a moment, we become mindless and all benefits can be changed into harm. Master Sotaesan said, when a person whose mind is crooked has a lot of money, knowledge, or power, then those things instead become the basis of transgression and unwholesomeness. Only after one's mind is upright will money, knowledge, and power be transformed into eternal blessings. You want to have eternal blessings, right? So that to attain an upright mind, we need mind practice. And that process is often compared with cleaning a dusted mirror. So mirror, reflects things as they are. Yet, if left untouched, with time, dust settles, and it fails to reflect things accurately. It becomes blurry. Our minds are similar. But if we clean it every day, wipe it, it turns to its original state, reflecting things accurately always. This cleansing is what we call practice. And according to Master Sotaesan's idea, practice should be done as naturally like eating food. You eat every day, right? It's like eating food every day. We need to practice it, and it should be realized in our daily life. So Master Sotaesan taught us that we need to review our mind generally once a day, and more specifically examine it each time we are faced with sensory conditions. These words imply that we must be mindful at every moment. Whenever we face a sensory condition or a challenging situation, we need to deal with it right there, right at the moment. Don't be delay or postpone. So one day I cleaned a ventilator in the kitchen. There were several panels to cover it. So at least once a year, I had to clean them, but I skipped one time. So they were very stained with heavy grease and dirt. So I put them all in the hot water and sprayed the very strong detergent to remove it. And then cleaned it with the scrubbing pad. However, while wiping, the pad becomes very easily covered with grease all around, and it didn't work at all. So after cleaning just one panel, I had to throw away the dirty pad and then changing a new one. If I cleaned the panels a couple of times a year, or more than that, I would be just, lightly wipe it. Much easier to take off the dirt. After cleaning, the panels all recovered its bright shine. And through this experience, I realized that the dirty panels is like my mind, which is filled with three poisonous mind: greed, anger, hatred, delusion. So I reflected how often I have tried to wipe my mind. So it is easy to forget to clean my mind, especially when I am busy or once I'm deeply into my emotions. Sometimes I really wanted to get away from that polluted mind, but it is not possible. Fortunately, later on, it is possible to restore my mind by cleaning through practicing with various methods like meditation, what we are doing during this retreat, right? Mindfulness practice, studying the scriptures, reading the scriptures, and having some inquiry about the nature, and mind journaling, and so on. So we need to maintain our original nature, which is pure and calm, when we encounter thousands of sensory conditions in our daily life. At each moment of facing a sensory condition, we may cease out our thoughts and actions for a short time. The original mind is always existing with us. So what we can do is simply just returning to it. It is important to also examine our mind moment by moment. We can have a chance to see and realize what we are doing by pausing a second before we act. This is a practice of making a mindful choice with a sound thought when we are involved in activities. Through the practice, we can remove the wrong and nurture the right. For that, when we are not involved in activities, when we are in rest, we need to cultivate the one-pointedness mind, ilsim in Korean. The ilsim, the one-pointedness mind is not the same as what we commonly refer to when talking about just focusing or concentrate on something. The one-pointedness mind refers to a mind that is truly awake, both internally and externally, bright and serene. This is the mind possessed by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And it is the empty, deep, and pure mind that manifests in genuine practice. Even though it may be sentient beings, it is a mind that stays nowhere, brightly awake, free from all discrimination and attachment. So that's why we practice various forms of meditation, to let go of all distracting thoughts in the morning, in the evening, whenever we find a quiet moment to practice. We need to experience that moment of pure intention and maintain that state of one-pointedness mind. However, just sitting in meditation quietly at rest is not enough to achieve it. If we cannot practice when we are in action, that practice is not useful, but that practice. That means carry it with you all the time, the pure mind all the time. Do not leave your original mind in the meditation hall. Use that mind in your daily life. So before this retreat, I had to take a short trip to South Korea for 10 days. You know how many hours to get to there? 14 hours flight. Somewhat crazy trip. Just for 10 days, I took a trip. I'm so tired. And then before the trip, I had to work all day and night since there was a big event in our temple. And also, right after the trip, it was scheduled to have a big event, Buddha's birthday, that I had to charge of that, you know. So I could not avoid working hard even during the trip. However, unfortunately, miserable things happened to me. Just the day before my flight back to the United States, I just recognized that I lost the files, disappeared. I worked on my computer. All things disappeared. So they were just gone, and then I tried everything but could not find them or restore them. Came back to my room, and then it was very dark night. I really, it's some kind of a panic situation. So the ticking of the clock sounded like a thunder and lightning to me. I was definitely in panic. All worries and regrets flooded into my mind. I felt like I had nowhere to turn. I was like trying to grasp a very thin straw hanging on the edge of a cliff, just dangling there. What could I do? What should I do? And should I give up? At that time, I reminded, it was very hard to restore that mind. It was a time to practice. It's simple. It was a time to practice. And then I stopped everything, closed my eyes, and took a deep breath in and out to restore my inner Buddha nature for a couple of minutes. Maybe I think it's 5 minutes. Just shortly, I just deeply meditated. Then I opened my eyes and I started again from the very beginning, step by step, one by one, with one clear mind. Then just that time I was printing out some pamphlets for the special event. So one by one, I handed it over and then staple it one by one with my one breath, one by one, breathing. Then finally, this done. It's really, have done quickly, quicker than I expected. And then during the event, everyone around me came together and helped smoothly carry it out and reflect on it. It was the power of a practice that kept me ongoing. It became the guiding light that reignited my faded poor Buddha nature and led me out of that dark cave. So I really believe that practice leads our lives and enables us to live a brighter life. There will be another cave waiting for me, but I'm not worried about. I will wisely overcome it with my daily practice. So the value of our lives is not determined by achievements at just one moment, but by what we create in every moment with practice. So I wish for each moment to be filled with blessings and wisdom through the practice of cultivating the mind in your life. So I'd like to conclude my talk asking you, saying together, my life is my practice. Okay? Okay, say it together. My life is my practice. Thank you.